one unaffected egg behind them. Perhaps there's still a chance.
You hear? No one to keep them warm for he'd walking. Month survived.
Looky here, Bugs.
That doesn't sound promising, does it?
Makes my bones itch.
Ma, can you hear me?
The little boy lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before plunging into...
Oh, Ma! Are you all right? Ma! Huh? Oh, please. There was a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters and there were sorcerers too. And they killed everyone. And my mom got them to chase her. And I'm not trying to stop them. Just distract them. When they finish whatever they're eating over there, I don't want them to start looking for Ma. She's in our house. What, you will? Maybe you can cross the river then. Ma lifted the bridge, but there's got to be another way, right? Yeah.
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small flat pebble and chucks it across the river.
I'll keep distracting him.
He performs a divine order salute.
Now go out, Ma. Oh! Come on. Oh! Looky here, Bugs.
happen here?
A dying shark lies gasping.
Can you hear me? You can find a way across, right?
Did you expect a needle?
I bet you're the musical sort. You've thought about taking up the lute. I got a few ready to go, all freshly strung. A shame. Everyone's got a melody in them. You just gotta look. My brother Laszlo couldn't carry it. Manchester's came. Stole them away. I keep going though, hoping to get to Ark sooner than later. Lucian's Day crowds will be wanting some useful. Ah, you mean deadly. Oh, I ain't taking that.
There's paladins up ahead. Men of my vintage. Wonder if I served with any of them back in the war.
Halt, traveller, if you please. Who goes there? Ha! If you're looking for adventure, east's the way to go. It's a void-woken hellhole over there. Sorcerer at work. Powerful one. Holding the fort like we always do. Usually the fort in question is bigger than this one, but you do the job in front of you, don't you? What should you expect beyond the bridge? Ha! Expect sorcery of the highest order. Expect voidwoke. Go on through, adventurer. We won't stop you.
Heading east? If I were you, I wouldn't. You look tough, but you ain't tough enough. East'll be your funeral. The rolling pastures of Paradise Downs ain't paradisical.
You've hit a nerve. He looks away.
Ain't none of your business why I'm still here. Like I say,
I shall not mourn till war is done. I shall not weep while blood still runs. I'll hold my
They beat all those Voidwoken. I'm impressed.
I should keep my voice low. No need to wake the dead.
Look who's come to join the party. Oh, but you do get around, don't you?
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together. His lip...
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know... Ah. It's a quandary, you see. I'm not exactly welcome in the Stone Garden. The servants that tend... The spirits within are particularly feisty as well. Can't say why.
He presses a forefinger against his chin and hums.
This is when having access to a Godwoken might come in handy. Well, that's the gold-plated question it is. I dare say you'll enjoy this. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of tremendous... Belonged to a family buried near here. The Surreys. I've been reading... Old Joanna was the last. The poor problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of...
His coy grin freezes.
I can recite each page from memory, but I've neither the time...
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze. For a moment, he looks almost...
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I've told you everything you need to... everything I know. What it is doesn't matter.
He looks toward the graveyard.
Let's make this easy. I'll assume you've accepted my mission. You'll assume I give it in good... The Surrey tomb must be somewhere nearby. And whatever that object is in there, I bet it... I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some... Oh.
Let's see what spirits haunt this garden.
Within the stone garden's walls, peace be thy immortal fortune, relieved of toil, free of indignity, until thou art called to serve. As you reach to push open the heavy door, the coils and whirls of engraved wood dance into a new pattern. The semblance of a face arises, a face that...
A little sorcerer, come to play. You are a sorcerer, are you not? Perhaps even God-woken? Tell me true, now.
Silence greets your answer. In the distance, you hear the screech of an eagle. Worryingly closer, you hear some kind of a moan. Time passes.
Enter.
The face melts back into the wood of the door, and the whirls swirl back into a floral pattern.
Who builds a mansion on the edge of a graveyard?
At first glance, the spirit seems much like it. The spirit nods, and its face grows.
This spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
As you approach, the salamander... As you approach, the salamander... The servant responds with a blank look. The spirit does not talk to you.
Death prowls above. Ascend up.
This door is locked tight, but there's a sliding hatch at ankle height. Crane peering in, you can barely see as your vision is limited by a cobweb draped across the hatch. You think... The servant emits a menacing growl. The servant grumbles. A spirit sits behind the grand piano, her hands moving
O'er black and white my fingers dart, o'er globes they glide, o'er flats and sharps. Whither go they, Lord of Life? Direct them.
The echoes of a distant past pervade the room as the spirit embarks upon a long... The masked creature is mute. The lizard hums tunelessly, not a melody except...
10 spans under, humans slept. 10 spans up, the dwarves were kept. Lizards burned in lasting flame. Elven trees towards skies did aim.
She looks to your left with one eye and to your right with the other.
It helps me remember where the dead go. Sometimes they don't stay where I put them.
She smiles at you with the innocence of a newborn.
Keeping watch. Tending the...
She returns to her humming. She flinches as you move closer.
No touching.
Her humming fades. The eerie silence lasts for several seconds.
Riker might get mad. He doesn't like it when someone touches.
She shivers and whispers.
Powerful sorcerer. Lives here, right in the garden. He can take the you from you.
She points at her head.
The servants, they got nothing up there. Riker has it all now. They need to be freed. Only way. Kill Riker. The servants, so lost. Chained by Sorcerer Riker.
The ensuing silence lasts for... The masked creature is mute. The spirit gives you a tortured glance.
A visitor? Such a rare and exquisite...
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eyes don't...
Call me Riker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely come along. It's not an ordinary location, I admit, but I prefer to be extraordinary. Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. I also see you are not yet whole.
He presses a slender forefinger against his tight lips and hums.
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek, if you offer something in return. Hey, let's not be so secretive, my good fellow. You're dying to show off those smoldering talents of yours. You just don't know how I can help you with that. I can share my bond with the Source with you, fill your well to the brim, make you a master. The rest of the story, well, it's yours to write. You must go to the Black Pits. There's a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet of considerable value.
He points to the location on your map.
Bring it to me.
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel Ralik's presence. You hear no words, yet understand. It's imperative you accept Riker's bargain. The episode passes. Riker is peering at you intently.
Oh, but heading to the Black Pits would mean tangling with more magisters, and they're such a nuisance. It's a miracle of the ancients. Priceless, really, and powerful. I won't bore you with further detail. Suffice it to say, it is safer in my hands than in theirs.
Riker's lips stretch and his cheeks bulge, but you couldn't rightly call his unusual grimace.
I'm a man of taste, as you no doubt see. A relic this significant would make an incredible addition to my collection. Don't deny an old elf his simple pleasures. A promise you'd best fulfill.
Riker bows his head deeply.
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that trumps it. Now please, don't let me keep you. Tarquin. Ah, that must be the fellow I found snooping in unwanted. There are some types, deceitful types, that don't deserve to be among a place of such treasure. He doesn't appreciate what the...
He turns the back of his hand towards you and waves it back and forth, nudging you away.
Do be sure to see yourself out. These tomes demand. Striking language. Smart writing is a forgotten art. Such dreamy prose. I could get lost in it. Truly beautiful poetry on the page. Striking language. Smart writing is a forgotten art. Such dreamy prose. I could get lost in it. truly beautiful. Poetry on the page. Such dreamy prose. I could get lost in it. Such dreamy prose. I could get lost in it. Striking language, smart writing with a forgotten art.
The dog growls and bares its teeth at you in a wide, unsettling grin. You swear you see...
Come closer. I dare you.
He sniffs. He snarls.
I am death. There's no defying me.
The dog's growls intensify and transform into a rhythmic rasp that mimics laughter. You swear...
Do not mock me. You know what lies beneath. Ha! She calls herself master. I call her minion.
The dog raises its head to the stormy sky and howls. The earth beneath you vibrates. A dirge plucked on the...
Necrotic troll. You...
The figure is locked in pose.
So still here. Like the air itself's been petrified.
The petrified woman cannot speak, but... The spirit's lip curls upwards. She opens her mouth as if to speak, but her words fade in the tomb. The longer you gaze, the more your inner source churns. You are drawn into her, her mind, her body, her past. You sit at a fire. At your left lies a black dog, basking in the warmth. Others huddle behind you. A young elf. You hold a parchment up to the light and point at it. It is there that anathema can be found. The sky is dark, and the roaring fire is now a sad flicker. The others lie around it in a circle, but you hear no snores. You look to your left. The dog's yellow eyes lock with yours, and the two of you turn from the ring of and you gasp as you are thrust into the present. You take a few deep heaves, then glance at the spirit. Her mouth continues to gabble, but your great... several flakes of something. The spirit's lips move rapidly.
This part is gated off from the rest. Whoever is buried here must have been important.
Here rests the dwarven hero Bromley. Here rests the lizard hero Vidya. She served... Here rests the elven hero Halla. He served Lucian the Divine with great vigor. Here rests the human hero Garrick. He served Lucian the Divine with immense skill, and suddenly the earth churns and buckles upwards in several places. Some things...
Godwoken! You must fall! The God King demands it!
You must fall, so that we may rise.
Let your blood quench our roots, so we may grow.
The covenant shall be fulfilled.
Steel, Godwoken!
These graves shall be yours now, Godwoken.
doesn't it? Glory is mine!
Die, Godwoken!
Your end will be our beginning.
Prepare yourself. I am a servant of the God King. I laugh at your mortal weapons.
Into the dark with you.
The God King will return those he favors.
ready!
These were heroes. What happened to them? And what's this covenant?
The heroes of Driftwood lie at your feet, dead for good.
Most foreboding. When did heroes turn villains? And what is this covenant?
Whatever this covenant is, it didn't bring them victory.
They were corrupted somehow. If it could happen to them, it could happen to us. We should be cautious.
It's not a silent monk, but it seems just as blank.
The masked servant does not speak. The spirit gives you a tortured... The bitter air warms, your eyes close. Death's...
It's hard not to feel some pride. I watched an elf spend hours trying to force his... He did not leave.
Cremation pyre. From fire to ash, from ember to flame. This spirit, it beckons to me. A lone witness to the car.
The Red Prince addresses the lizard spirit. He turns out to be a dreamer, long dead, who speaks out...
Rav Mudon. And
like a lullaby, the melody lulls them both to sleep until, with a start, the Red Prince wakes once more.
My word. Even I, not in my wildest, most demon-lusting dreams, could have guessed a destiny such as this. A tale too preposterous to be believed, and yet so ultimately... The race of lizards, all of us, we were dragons once. Great, somehow, eons ago, we withered. We shrank, our wings shriveled, until now. I am to be the father of dragons, and she, the Red Princess, is... I've told you about her, haven't I? The secret of my soul. All my life I thought she was... To think she awaits me even now, no more than a walk away. Come, we must... Dying indeed. We mustn't forget the House of Shadows continues to hunt us. The dreamer I met only managed to elude them by escaping bodily into the dream realm, never to return. Sacrifices are being made in our names, mine and hers, so that we may sire dragons.
The Red Prince turns to thank the spirit for its aid. The old soul concludes its melody, and with it, its...
full-grown grasshopper. Me good.
Mari flashes a massive horsey smile at you, then winces, her left arm hanging limply.
By the seven, that was something. What'd I tell you? Nice scratch on me. None that last, at least. Glad my little guy got... Oh, sure. Just a nasty bruise by the feel of it. May have to lay off blasting big. Didn't catch your name, though. I'm Mark. Pleasure's mine. You all right? Dunno about you, but I never was afraid of bugs. Then again, if you hadn't rolled in when you did, I might be whistling Teedle-Dee in a void woken's belly by now. I owe you one. Bug squasher, are you? Impressive. Hate to cut this short, but I ought to dash off. My boy's waiting for me. Mind lowering the bridge, though? I find myself slightly indisposed for the moment. There you are, my good-looking lad. And how's my little spider monkey doing? Safe and sound?
Spider monkey? You mean dragon?
Come here, you.
Mother and son fall into a tight embrace. Mari seems oblivious to you. Her eyes are closed, her lips turned in a serene smile.
My boy, my good...
Hey, wait, one sec. Ma, look! Thank you so much for helping my ma. All those void woken. Sheesh.
Thank the gods. Oh, thank the mum. And our friend here, too. I know a good arm when I see one. I'll tell my cousin Raymond what you did. He's real high up in the Order, and he's visiting Driftwood as we speak. Could be he has some good work for you. Reckon there's space for us in the Magister's barracks. Raymond ought not to turn down his own cousin. Some dwarves, locals, attacked a Magister caravan. Must have been sorcerers inside. Voidwoken must have sensed them. Came in formation like a proper battalion.
Mari looks to Barin and flexes. He does the same back at her.
Luck wishes. We're off into town. Best of luck to you, mate. And come say hi if you make your way inside.
much for a cellar, isn't it?
I've spotted something. I've spotted something. I've spotted something.
The servant emits a menacing growl.
I've spotted something.
Potion that can calm her.
A man paces back and forth, puffing anxiously on a pipe. His face is
If you're looking for healing or the like, then you'd best look elsewhere.
The man chomps on the bit of his pipe, generating a small cloud of nervous smoke. Finally,
I came by a new patient, a young woman, very troubled. I'll do what I...
He gestures with his pipe for you to leave.
I'm still trying to figure that out. She seems afflicted with... I had no choice but to lock her in my cellar. For her safety, this isn't someone with a broken leg who needs to be held still. This is... The answer... Got to come up with something. Can't keep her locked up forever. What could have done this to her?
Looks like this place has seen better days. Much better days.
Gareth toils in monotony. Gareth freezes, then turns slowly towards you. His breaths are steady, his
I'm digging my murdered parents' graves. I'd ask that you show...
Gareth moves to continue his task, but...
No, of course you didn't. Godwoken, I've seen Seeker's blood seeping into the sand. I waded through corpses on the deck of the Lady Vengeance. I just didn't know. I'm Dallas's pets. Such helpful tools they are, too. The abominations do the... They're still there, spreading their rancid smell through the house. Paladins came to clean up the mess. In the name of...
Gareth shies away from you. His eyes pass over the half-filled graves.
I'm the one who's prayed. An endless litany. How many pleas does it take? How many tears do I have to...
Gareth forcefully exhales and looks past you to the nearby house.
If you'd asked me yesterday, I'd have said they were the only ones left in the Divine Order worth their weight in salt. I have honored their devotion to our lost. Today, though, I don't know. The Paladins once fought the Black Ring. I've got no use for platitudes. Not from some mediocre sorcerer, inexplicably chosen as the 7 special...
You swear you hear Gareth's pulse, galloping faster than a saddled mount. You've never heard such a thing before, but you suspect Gareth's heart is close to tearing.
If you want to help, then you find the craven wight that ordered their slaughter.
His clenched jaw tightens further, and then, in an instant, Gareth's guard is broken. Tears well in his eyes. With every blink,
My parents, they did nothing to deserve this. I'd give my own life to bring them back. I know you're right. There's nothing more to be done here. Lucian, forgive me.
The 2 paladins Gareth mentioned are
We're guarding this house. Wise to stay well back. There's a bunch of silent monks inside who've tasted blood today. Already? They didn't kill anybody. The magisters who control them did. You know Donna, she wouldn't hurt a fly. Not until they turned her. But they did turn her. And now she's not Donna anymore. Get it through your head. The pork... No, wait! Surely... Maybe someday they can be fixed.
The other paladin rolls his eyes and shakes his head as he turns to face you.
In any event, it's our business, not yours. You just stay well away from the door and you'll be perfectly safe. You can't do that. They were people who were loved. It's not right to butcher them like cattle. Back off, man. Can't you see he's... Illusions, blessings, but I can't bring myself to do it.
The lumpen silent monk stands like a pillar of decaying flesh. So still it seems he is not all of a sudden, like a bellows, he exhales a fetid gust right into your face. The stench of rot shrouds you, coating you in a way you fear will never truly be washed away. He looks through your eyes with seeming disinterest as the life ebbs from his body, drop by drop, until he is gone and the flesh that housed him... Emaciated of body and spirit, this silent monk stands... This must be Donna, the one spoken of by the paladins guarding the door. She gives no indication at all that she has heard you, save for a single tear dripping from one eye. Her tears flow along with her blood. This dwarven monk hangs his head, as if looking down, staring down into his face. You realize you were staring into mutilation. He has no eyes. His empty... He does not resist in the least. The silent monk looks like she was only recently converted. Her face was clearly beautiful once, and the eyes looking at you are not yet the full fulgence. One of her hands trembles. Twitching, it reaches out to you. Her hand is cold and smooth, like that of a porcelain doll. Jerkily, as if unused to movement, she strokes your hand gently. Her lips part, and her mouth moves. Did she whisper, or slay me? Or did you only hear what you wanted to hear in the whispers of the wind? Slipping your hand free from hers, you back away and leave her standing there. Her arm remains outstretched, stroking, as if... The silent monk stands with one arm outstretched, her eyes squeeze shut, and her whole body trembles. But she puts up...
May Gareth always choose the right path. Nothing we didn't see coming. We always knew Gareth was fated for greatness. As a boy, he'd leap through the fields with wooden sword in hand, slaying imaginary demons. We also knew that good men make enemies. We knew evil would come, and so it did. Not as a demon or as a witch. He watched eagerly as those shambling husks descended. We would never blame Gareth. The righteous always pay a price. May the Seven will it. He will always be the hero we know him to be.
She nods.
The truth can be difficult. We all want to believe in each other. It's what separates us from the void. It's what we do next that defines us. We can respond with treachery, or we can rise above. I trust that you will. May Gareth always choose the right.
A spillage all over the floor.
Can't talk now. Go ahead.